I felt obligated to do this review on the channel because previously I was pretty harsh on Kevin Feige and his stewardship of Marvel in Phases 4 and 5. I went into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with an open mind, but pretty doubtful the movie could make me feel the way I did when I first left Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Volume 2. The movie mostly succeeded as an emotional climax for these characters and for James Gunn's tenure at Marvel. The movie opens with my least favorite of all the Guardians of the Galaxy opening scenes. Rather than the upbeat opening in the first movie with Redbone's Come and Get Your Love or ELO's Mr. Blue Sky, both songs are fun and they set the tone for those movies perfectly. This movie opens with a movie that does set the tone pretty well, but it's a melancholy acoustic version of Creep. Then the movie wastes almost no time jumping right into the main plot of the movie. Rocket is attacked by Adam Warlock, seemingly out of nowhere while on nowhere, and he's put on life support. The rest of the Guardians set out to get information that can save Rocket's life. I have to admit, this attack came out of nowhere, both for Rocket and the audience. I was quickly reminded of the worst aspects of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness in the first act. Everything seemed very rushed, and I was saying to myself, please slow down. Unlike Multiverse of Madness, the movie eventually slowed down a decent amount, taking time to really focus on Rocket's backstory. A move I found very welcome, and I think one that is really at the emotional core of the movie. But Rocket is a character that I have loved before the first Guardians movie even came out. I first fell in love with the character of Rocket Raccoon during Andy Lanning's run with Marvel during their Annihilation event. I went out and bought Rocket's first 2 appearances, and I've loved the character ever since. Seriously, he's a top 5 comic character of all time for me. And I'm still annoyed that they didn't give him a British accent like he originally had in the comics. This movie made the wise decision to really focus on Rocket, and it pays off in spades. This is the darkest and most thoughtful of all the Guardians movies, as Rocket confronts his past of who and what he is. This movie is not perfect. There are a lot of flaws, especially during the first hour of the movie. However, I am willing to overlook a lot of that because all of the emotional beats work. Some people will say the emotional beats are too heavy-handed, or they go too far and snap the heartstrings. I don't care about that. If the moments are effective, and they are here, if you feel nothing during the many, many scenes of animal cruelty, you might be dead inside. But who is doing the animal cruelty? In this movie, it's the High Evolutionary. He's the first villain since Thanos I've really come to hate. He's a bastard throughout the whole movie, and I couldn't wait for him to get his. The secondary villains of the movie are all undercooked and create some plot holes and questions in the other Guardian movies. However, I'm willing to look past that because the emotions work. This is where I need to talk about what doesn't work and some of the plot holes. So, full spoilers from this point on. I already mentioned the very speedy and jam-packed opening of the first act. Another problem the movie has is one too many fake-out deaths. Seriously, none of the Guardians die, which is okay, but almost all of them receive a scene where it looks like they should be dead. Drax and Mantis are shot in slow motion and fall down like they're dead. It's something straight out of Platoon. Rocket accepts death and makes it look like he's going to animal heaven. Peter Quill gets trapped in space, frozen, and his head becomes misshapen. All these moments are undercut by the characters living. I'm glad the characters all make it, because I love them all. But it seems disingenuous to constantly pull out so many fake deaths. My other main issue is kind of a nerdy complaint. Rocket being attacked by Adam Warlock via the Sovereign to open the movie doesn't make sense. The Sovereign send Warlock to get Rocket on behalf of the High Evolutionary. However, they encountered him previously in the second Guardians movie. They could have attempted to grab him then. Also, If the High Evolutionary was looking for Rocket, it doesn't seem like he would be hard to find. He's arrested in the first movie, and by the end of that movie, he's a famous hero. This feels slightly more like a contrivance than something organic, like the way Ego went about discovering who and where Peter Quill is in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Overall, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a fitting end to the James Gunn era with the franchise. The Guardians of the Galaxy franchise has always succeeded at blending humor and heart, and I felt it really landed here. This is the least funny movie in the franchise, but it has the most emotional beats. They're mostly effective. Check this movie out if you like the other two movies in the franchise. So far, for Phase 5, they're batting 50% in my book. Hopefully that trend continues, and we get more good Marvel movies. Thank you all for making it this far. This isn't the usual content we cover on the channel, but I thought it could be fun to do some reviews and more pop culture things. We're mostly a comedy and history podcast, but we have other things in the works like documentary projects and all sorts of funny things. Please like and subscribe this page for more. Click the bell to get notifications. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I will see you next time. Bye.